all these years, the Hamas has been in power. I think Mr. Iyer Mitra wants to come in on this point, and I think I'll bring him in because I know he has an intervention to make on this. He's tweeted about this earlier. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, before I bring in the BJP spokesperson on what is going on here in our own country, viewers. Yes, Abhijit Iyer Mitra. I can't hear you. I think you're on mute. Abhijit, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Look, this whole line that it is not about religion is completely false. If Mayor Fleur sitting here converted to Islam today, she would be considered a Palestinian and they would accept her just fine out there. This is totally about religion. This is totally about killing Jews, number one. Number two, the money was actually transferred. Anybody up to date with the news this morning would know that the Israeli government has taken the decision to transfer the funds except those that were earmarked for Hamas in Gaza. Third, the Palestinian Authority maintains a fund called the Palestinian Authority Martyrs Fund. All right. And this is the Palestinian Authority sitting in the West Bank in Ramallah that does this. Anybody who kills a Jew or perpetrates an act of political violence against a Jew gets a pension for killing a Jew. Okay. It is the tunnel networks. I want you to look at this. You don't have to believe Israel. Do you believe the UNRWA? Do you believe the UNRWA? Because this is the UNRWA report, yes, which shows you a school. They found in the school tunnel networks. I would also point you to the NDTV report that shows from a few years back, which shows you Hamas firing from a hotel, which was reserved for international journalists. I would also point you to the interview of Mr. Marzouk, who, the
interview, please. Yeah, go ahead.
A very puff piece interview of him. He is on record. The video I have tweeted out. He says that tunnels are to protect our fighters. The people on top are not our responsibility. They are the responsibility of the UN. I have never seen a more callous. I bet you Israel cares more about the average Gazan than Hamas does. The Gazans are the first and biggest victims of Hamas. To support Hamas is Islamophobia. The biggest Islamophobia is supporting Hamas. Hamas is no friend. Hamas are no Muslims. They are not human beings. And whatever the worst epithets that can be used to them are too mild.
No, but you see, I differ with you a little bit, Mr. Iyer Mitra, because you see, if you can't be a victim, if you're complicit in electing a bunch of terrorists who have a problem with Jews, then there is some other level of complicity going on here. Then you can't be a victim. I'm sorry. And then
there is a complicity, and this has been established in Germany.
I know that people will pick up my clip and say that, look at this heartless character. But if I were heartless, viewers, if I were heartless, I wouldn't be saying that the Egyptians should open the border and allow for the Palestinians to go, to leave, that the rest of the Arab world should step in and allow, using their diplomatic muscle, which they have so much of, to tell Hamas to return the hostages and allow for an exchange, a fair exchange of all those poor Gazans that are caught in the crossfire. But viewers, I'll tell you what is going on in our country. There is an echo here, and it's a very, very, very sad situation, because I want to bring in Shahzad Poonawalla and the left spokesperson here tonight. Islamo-leftists are going out there and they are rationalizing the actions of Hamas, Shahzad Poonawalla. Hamas is getting a platform, and obviously these people think that there is a constituency for this kind of whitewashing. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing this. We've always been told that Indian Muslims would never sign up for violent religious violence anywhere, that they would never go and betray the good faith and join up with these reactionaries and obscurantists. But here, they're cheering on their own leaders who are platforming the Hamas, or who are saying that the Hamas is a bunch of freedom fighters. Shahzad Poonawalla, what is this telling us? We should all be worried, shouldn't we?
No, this is only one thing, that the politics of vote bank has now descended to such a level that even the excuse of Palestine is being used to justify the actions of Hamas on 7th of October. And here are the questions I want to ask. First of all, India's policy is very clear as far as the Israel-Palestine issue is concerned. That's a separate issue. That's an issue of two states which we believe should coexist. Their sovereignty should be protected, but they should get to that position through a negotiated peace process. What is a negotiated peace process? It does not involve taking 1400 civilians hostage, killing them, maiming them, cutting off babies, chopping them off, or burning citizens or raping them. So therefore, this is not about that. Secondly, please tell me, before 7th of October, none of these worthies, whether it's the AIMPLB, CWC or the Congress Party or several leaders of the left, including Mr. Baby or Mr. Munir, where were their tweets for the Palestinian cause? It only started after Hamas was being called out, and rightly so, for its terror actions. And I have three specific questions to ask. What are the reasons people in India are saying that we support so-called Palestinian cause but actually supporting the Hamas? One, they say that look, Muslims are being killed, Muslims and innocents are being killed. Well, who's killing people in Yemen? Who's killing the babies in Yemen? It's not the Jews. Who's killing babies and young children in Iraq, Iran, Libya, Sudan, Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan? It's different Muslim factions. Have you ever seen the so-called Islamists in India take up a cause? One second, don't interrupt me. Have you ever seen them take up the cause for Yemeni children? Why are you distinguishing between Palestinian children and Yemeni children? Both of them should be equally important for you. Oh, is it because in one case you can blame apparently the Jews, and in the other case it's because the Muslim factions are doing it, so you don't really care? Secondly, if it was about innocent lives of Israelis were lost on 7th of October, 1400 people, and from the Islamic point of view, Surah Al-Ma'idah 532 clearly says that no person who's not involved in war should be taken hostage or killed. Why is it then that the Islamic groups or these people have come out and not condemned Hamas unequivocally? In every condemnation, including the one by the left, whether it's MA Baby or whether it's the Congress Party, they've seemed to rationalize it as a reaction to what Israel is doing. No, Israel is not responsible for what has happened on 7th of October. Hamas is. Why is the onus on Israel? I want to ask a question. If you are so concerned about those innocent lives in Gaza, why don't you tell the Hamas, not in the letter written by Sonia Gandhi, in the article written by Sonia Gandhi, or in AIMPLB statement, none of the places they have told Hamas that look, leave the 200 hostages, do not kill innocent people, do not take innocent people as hostages, and if you want to go and fight the state of Israel, go onto the borders and fight the state of Israel. Why are you making human shields out of innocent people? Not one person out of them has said Hamas should do this. And by the way, if Hamas is equal to Palestine, how come Palestine in the West Bank has no Hamas? How come Hamas was killing Palestinian Liberation Organization leaders? How come Hamas has been taking their children hostage, has been taking Palestinians also hostage, or has been using them as human shields? And finally, if this is about occupied land, by the way, Israel, theologically speaking and otherwise, came first. But if it is still about occupation by Israel over Palestine, Rahul, I have a simple question to ask. The Chinese occupy Indian territory and they are killing way more Muslims in the Uyghur province, the Uyghur Muslims, the Xinjiang province. Have you ever seen any left leaders call out the Chinese? No. Secondly, Kashmir, the place from where you come, was once upon a time completely Hindu dominated. There were 7 expulsions, genocidal expulsions of the Kashmiri Hindus, and now that land has been taken over. So would they call that as occupation? Would the Islamists who support people support the cause of Palestine here would say that this is also occupation? Would they say that this was Islamic jihad that led to occupation?
It's a very important point, actually. You know, and I can see why the left spokesperson here is getting irritated.
No, I'm not irritated. I'm amused.
Oh, you're amused.
I'm amused because of the diversion.
You're trivializing.
I'm trivializing.
No, hang on. You're
says.
trivializing anti-Jew hate tonight on this show.
I'm trivializing what the BJP spokesperson.
That's amusing you, sir.
I am trivializing what this gentleman
Vivek
has
Srivastava,
been saying.
let me ask you a pointed question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
This Islamo-leftist axis is hypocritical. Let's be honest. One second. Where in your statement, show me any of the statements issued by Mr. Yechuri or the Politburo where Hamas has been called a terrorist organization? Show me.
Okay. Now you tell me a single statement where United States of America or the Indian government has issued a statement declaring Hamas as a terrorist organization.
Sir,
there is none.
America has declared Hamas
I'm not
a terror
bothered about
organization.
America.